I got a period for the first time in well over a year, and it shook me to my core. It affected me way more than what I ever could have imagined. It took me a moment or two to collect myself so that I could take a moment to figure out why on earth this was such an earth-shattering thing to happen to me after a year of not having a cycle. You see, I never thought I'd ever have another period again. I thought, being the ripe old age of close to 51 years old, that was it. I was done. I was on the other side. And let me tell you, I could not have been happier to know that that was the place that I was in. You see, I have suffered with endometriosis pretty much my entire fertile life. And as the years progressed, my endometriosis progressively got worse to the point that I ended up with stage 4 endo. That's a story for another day. But what is important here is that I have not known a life or my fertile adult life without pain. Every single cycle that I have experienced since my very first period I was late 14, I believe, I have suffered pain. Debilitating, tear-inducing pain. The only time that I've never experienced pain with my monthly cycle is when I was either pregnant or breastfeeding my children. Every other single cycle I've experienced has been one riddled with pain. And the flow-on effect of that pain infiltrated all of my days, whether I was on my period or not. And it's only now that I can look back and see that for what it actually was. It's only now, when I've had a sense of normalcy for the last year or so without having that pain, that I can look back and see what I actually went through all those years, experiencing the pain of endometriosis and experiencing what would be classified as chronic pain. Just briefly, my pain did get so bad several years ago where I ended up with stage 4 endometriosis, and I did need to have surgery for that. And whilst it alleviated the pain for a period of time, it never ever rectified the pain. It came back. It certainly didn't take that pain away. It just gave me a little bit of reprieve for a period of time, which again, I'm so very thankful for. So, with that being said, I'm sure you can imagine my sheer elation when I thought, I'm done. I'm actually done. I will take anything that menopause gives me to not have a cycle. Thank you. I'm done. But here I sit today, where literally out of nowhere, I've gotten a period. A what? Yes, I've gotten a period. What on earth is happening? For me, getting this period seemingly out of nowhere has given me opportunity to look back and reflect and to see what my life truly was like now that I can look back with the hindsight that I have. And I tell you, holy gosh, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, because being able to reflect on how difficult things have been while suffering with chronic pain for pretty much all my adult life, it's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely insane to think of what I went through week in, week out, all of my adult life. And this is why I'm just in disbelief at having this again and experiencing the need for pain medication every couple of hours and not feeling like yourself and not being able to function to the best of your ability. And a lot of things have fallen into place for me. And I know when it comes to women's cycles, there's all the cliches under the sun that we can hear. It's normal, it's part of life, every woman feels pain from time to time with their period. I get all that, and I guess to some degree, there's a little bit of element of truth in that. But I'm here to say that pain at that level, that debilitating chronic pain that infiltrates your days, your weeks, your nights, your everything, is not normal. It is complete bullshit that we have been told that for all of these years, and we sit and we suffer in silence. And thank goodness we are now in a period of time where folks are actually doing more research on this so that we can get to the bottom of it. Because this is one massive problem, and it is affecting our women way more than we know. And me having this out of the blue period has 100% shown me that. This level of pain is affecting our women collectively way more than we will ever know. And whilst I don't have an answer to any of this, I don't think there is one answer. I think it is one big convoluted problem that we have as a society, and we need to work together to try and fix this. I do know just how damaging suffering from chronic pain is, not only for our physical health, our mental health, but our spiritual health as well. And whilst I can't remember exactly when I had my last period, I mean, come on, having your last period is going to be like the last time you carried your child on your hip. You don't know it's the last one when it's taking place. But it's been well over a year since I had a proper cycle. But by gosh, this has just taken me straight back to where I was. I have barely functioned this week. I have made it to just above baseline, just getting by day in and day out, needing to pop pain medication every couple of hours. And it's made me see how tumultuous my life has been whilst living in these cycles of constant pain. And I used to joke when I was heavy in my cycles that I had one good week every month. And whilst I joked about that, that was actually the reality of my life. One good week. The week that my period ended, I felt human. I felt like I could take on the world. I felt like, yes, I could do it all. Just imagine for a moment that you have 1 week, 7 days, give or take a day, to fit in everything that you must do as a mother, as a wife, as a parent, as every other role that you have going on in your world. I homeschooled my children, so I had all of that as well. I had 1 week every month where I needed to fit all of that in, plus my hopes and my dreams and my wishes for the future and anything else I wanted to work on. All needed to be crammed into that 1 week every year where I actually felt well enough to be able to do that. 1 week a month or 12 weeks a year was really all I had where I felt like I was functioning at a level that was well above baseline. If I wasn't in excruciating pain for those 3 or 4 days every month, then the rest of the time it was hormonal turmoil where just getting a meal on the table was about all I could do. Just feeding my family and making sure they were fed. I simply didn't have it in me to be able to research and look for recipes and try new foods and all those types of things. It was just get a meal on the table. That was all that I could do. So now with a clear head of not experiencing that for well over a year, I have the beauty to be able to sit back and reflect on everything I've been through and what that chronic pain actually means. And there was a period of time where my cycles got worse and worse and worse. This was just before I was properly diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis, to the point where I was taking that many painkillers that there was a moment that I thought I'm going to need to call myself an ambulance. And my point with all of this is my reflection on chronic pain. And whilst I can sit here and hope, cross my fingers, that this is just one last dash for my one remaining ovary to say, hey, I'm still here. I'm not dead yet. Just letting you know that we're still kicking along, because turning 51, I am of the ripe old age to be entering into the menopausal state. And I thought I was already there, but I'm positive that some of you are functioning with only a few days a month where you feel alive. I know that. I know that some of you literally only have a few days a month where you feel good, where life feels like you can jump in and tackle it, and that the rest of your days are filled with pain and anxiety and fear and complete and utter overwhelm. I know that that is happening for some of you, and I'm certain that that overwhelming sense of helplessness has you questioning why me? Why am I bothering? What is the point of all of this? Why am I even here if this is the point of my life? When you're so consumed by that, it is so difficult to crawl out of that. It is so difficult to function beyond a level of just baseline living, because dealing with chronic pain is no joke. And I wanted to share this as a space to say, I see you. I feel you. I know that you're there and I see you. And I also want to give myself the forgiveness that for many years I have been functioning on just baseline. I need to afford myself the forgiveness and the grace to know that when you are barely functioning, it's almost impossible to do better, to be better, to eat better, to exercise more, to get outside and sit in the sun and do all the right things. It's a gym day for me today. I'm supposed to be at the gym, but I'm in too much pain to go. And yes, I've been taking my pain medication. I've taken quite a lot today, but I am still in too much pain to go to the gym. Years and years and years of that really does take a toll. And whilst I can't offer you anything other than I see you, please know we are not alone in this. There are so many women suffering in silence with this chronic pain. And my hope beyond hope that now we are finally doing research that an answer comes to light sooner rather than later. And I do just want to touch on, if you yourself don't have a connection to chronic pain, or if you've not experienced chronic pain, so you may not really truly understand what it means to be experiencing chronic pain for the person who is going through that every single day, please try your best to speak to those. And it may not be the loved one with chronic pain, but speak to other professionals about it, other people who understand chronic pain and what it is like living with that constantly inside you. I know that having someone close to you with chronic pain is a burden on you. You are taking on an extra burden, and in effect, you're carrying that person. You genuinely are carrying them, and I understand that. I'm not making light of that in any way, shape, or form, because quite often you're doing the work of two people, and you also see no way out of this. You also see that there's probably no choice in this for you either. But I can promise you, the person suffering with the chronic pain, they don't want to be there. They don't want to be feeling what they're feeling. They don't want to burden you or anyone with their pain and their inability to function above baseline. They are not actively choosing this situation. And if they could change it, they absolutely would, because chronic pain is a bitch. And if all you can do today is to hold your head above water. And that's all you can do. And I get that. I totally, truly get that. What I will say is don't give up hope. Keep trying, keep researching, keep talking to people and seeking out information. We can't give up hope on this because for many of us, there is help. For many of us, we just may not have found the actual root cause of our chronic pain. And that is the part that we need to do, is find the root cause of our pain. Because if we can find the root cause, then we can work towards healing what is going on. So having this out of the blue period has helped me to look back, reflect, given myself the forgiveness and grace that I really needed to do. And so for that, in an odd way, it's been a bit of a blessing. And I do try to see the positive in all situations. It is how I really work hard to live my life. I aim for silver linings. I aim to find the silver linings in all situations because for me, there generally is some kind of silver lining in everything. And what I am most thankful for in all of these years is I haven't had to maintain a full-time job outside of the home whilst I've suffered with this pain. Because I can only imagine how many times I probably would have been fired, needing 2, 3, sometimes 4 days off every month. Because at times I can barely function even taking pain medication. Sometimes I would get 1 hour out of my pain medication and that was it. I was done. The day was pretty much over for me. No one's going to employ someone like that. I'm so thankful to have not had to do that. And yes, I've tried them all. I've had pain medication prescribed to me by my gynecologist. The best thing for me personally is ibuprofen. But however, I was needing to take quite considerable amounts just so I could function. And I know for many of you, you have no choice. You have to front up to work. And my heart goes out to you for that. Because if you are doing that month in and month out, you are way stronger and way braver than you probably give yourself credit for. And if that is you, I'm deeply sorry that you have no choice. And I absolutely wish that I could change that for you. I truly, truly do. But what I do know is that in this crazy thing we call life, and this crazy tumultuous time where we are experiencing chronic pain, it is about looking for any reason we can to be thankful and to be grateful for what we do have. Because there definitely are reasons, and those are what keep us going.